Hello, everyone, and welcome to the LexTalk World Talk Show presented by Clickaway Creators. Today, we have Mr. Alexandre Costeira Frazão with us. He has a long tradition of law in the family as his grandfather founded the firm in 1972, and currently it's managed by his mother, Sonia. Law firm wasn't Alexandre's first option of college once he chose Advertisement and Social Communications and was admitted to Catholic University of Rio de Janeiro. After almost completing the course, Alexandre found himself unhappy with his career choice. And after reading an article about attorneys that work with merger and acquisitions in a business magazine, he took the decision to become a lawyer. And the decision is not to join the family firm until he is fully trained. After his graduation, Alexandre acted as a law clerk at the Attorney General of the city of Rio de Janeiro. After a year, he left the public service to join Azwvedo Sette, one of the most renowned firms in infrastructure and public law in Brazil. After 4 years, he left the firm to join the infrastructure team of Barcelos, Fontelles, Barcelos, and Miranda Advogados. It's a litigation powerhouse founded by the current justice of the Brazilian Supreme Court, Luiz Alberto. Finally, in November 2020, Alexandre joined Costeira Advogados e-Consultor, his family firm, to open an infrastructure PPP, which is Project Finance and Public Law Department. So thank you so much for joining us, Alexandre. It's a pleasure to have you on the show today. And let's first of all know a little bit about one of the most complex legal issues that you have worked on. So if you can please describe the complexity and tell us how you approached it.
Yeah, well, when I was working in Azwvedo Sette, the most complex project that I worked was the light rail vehicle in Rio de Janeiro city center. It was a greenfield project. There was never a transportation like this in Brazil to the date. We have to deal with a lot of suppliers, a lot of contracts. Rio de Janeiro city center is a crowd region with lots of business offices. The headquarters of the judiciary, the state judiciary powers here. So work and I have the opportunity to work since the contract was signed after the public bid until the light rail vehicle was full operational. That was few months before the Olympic Games begin in 2016. So it was at one point, the light rail vehicle operation company was basically my sole client. I didn't work for other clients. So demanding that was this project, and my approach was the best as possible, and in search in international experience. In Europe, this kind of transportation is very common. So I try to contact lawyers that have experience, or not in light rail vehicles, but in projects like this and subway projects. And I have I try to search some international experiences. Because in Brazil was impossible. We had nothing. So it is still, I left the firm, but it's still one of the most notable infrastructure cases in Brazil until today.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's amazing. Thank you so much for throwing some light on that complex issue that you had to face or that you kind of worked upon. With that, we'll quickly move on to the next question, Alexandre. And here I would like to understand about the pandemic. So let's talk about the pandemic a little bit. The pandemic saw some courts moving towards more of a remote proceedings and availability. Is this sustainable and a possible way to increase access to justice, in your opinion?
Well, I'm great enthusiast of the remote proceedings. I think it's easier for the lawyers to practice in several jurisdictions, mostly in Brazil. That is a huge country. It's possible for me to work in a city that is 4,000 kilometers from Rio, is able to hear in my conference room and office, participate in the proceedings, a hearing, a meeting with the judge. But it have problems. I think the most serious problem, in my experience here in Brazil, we don't have broadband service for the whole country. So the lawyers in the interior of Brazil have lots of difficulty to make these proceedings online. But I think there's no turning point. The judiciary proceedings or the law proceedings will follow this path, but I think we must do it without a rush. It will be made with calm and step by step, to not harm all the lawyers and the people that looks for the judiciary. But so I have option. I have the opinion that we can preserve some proceedings offline, like criminal hearings, jury hearings. I think for criminal justice, the time haven't come yet. But for the civil justice and other fields of law, is completely viable to go online.
Absolutely, I completely agree with your thought here. There are few proceedings, such as criminal proceedings, that are supposed to be taking place offline. But since we have moved towards this online proceeding system, this is really helpful as well, because as a lawyer, you do not have to travel in different cities, for these hearings every now and then, and this is really helpful. So yes, absolutely, I think this should really increase the access to justice. But as you talked about broadband facility available in the country, so that is something wherein the government or the telecom industry will have to pitch in, and they will have to probably uplift their services to make everyone connected through these remote proceedings. Thank you so much, Alexandre, for sharing those great insights with us. I'll quickly move on to the third question of the session today. And here we want to talk about, how would you rate the current legal system drive towards encouraging access to justice? Is there a tangible movement in closing the justice gap, in your opinion?
The civil access, the justice access here in Brazil, and my experience, there's a huge gap. But it is difficult, mostly for the most poor people, to find justice. But in Brazil, the Brazilian Constitution have a system to help the poor to go to justice. We have a public defenders, very good lawyers on public defenders. They are selected by a hard public selection. So the budget is enough to they deliver the service. But we have this gap. We are a poor country, and the citizen rights are very unrespected by lots of people, and mostly the state. But in Brazil, we have some particularity that is the citizen, the Brazilian, looks to herself as a citizen when his consumer rights are respected. So we have a huge stock of civil proceedings about consumers, defective products, late delivery. That's specific, and mostly in most cases, the justice, the judiciary is sick to deal with these cases. For some outside, you can see, no, this it's not so important, but is important, and the suits are not a huge suit with millions and millions, are little cheap suits, but they're important for the citizens. So this gap to the justice we have to deal with. We manage this access just, but the part of human rights, part of violence against women, against children, that's part that depends of the prosecute, the promoter. This we need to close this gap.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right. I completely agree with you that there is a justice gap, and but as you mentioned that the Brazilian constitution really helped the poor and the unprivileged people to help them get the justice, which is the right way. And I think as lawyers, it is also our responsibility to kind of contribute to the industry and contribute to the community back. And if we can help unprivileged people get to the access to the justice as much as we can in our capacity.
Yeah, we have a pro bono department in our firm, and I'm very, very happy and very proud of the work that we do, and I love to work in pro bono cases, not just because we're helping other people without otherwise they would not have conditions to hire a lawyer, but the cases are interesting, and I learn too much because the cases are different of my cases, of my day-by-day cases.
Mm-hmm. Okay, amazing. Thank you so much, Alexandre, for sharing those insights with us. I'll quickly move on to the fourth question, and we're running out of time, so we'll make it really quick. Fourth question talks about, in the era of legal technology, what are the most commonly used tools for you?
The common user technologies is we have a system to manage the cases. It's exclusively designed for us, for lawyers. Was designed for our firm, and this is the most common technology, a system. And all firms in Brazil have a system tailor-made, tailor-designed to manage the cases and the projects, and to record the billing hours. We have this technology. Most technology is the most thing you use, but we use the other common technology. I'm talking to you now by my iPhone. We use those other technology, and the judicial proceedings years ago, in Brazil go electronic. We have the judicial proceedings, electronic judicial proceedings, and now it's all online. So we use we have a user of online disposal. We have to to make an access. The access is by a token. It's safe. Never had a problem. So we use this technology too, because all proceedings, judicial proceedings in Brazil are online.
Okay, amazing. All right, thank you so much. And I understand this case management software, that's really helpful for the law firms, and I'm sure you guys are using one as well. I'll quickly move on to the last question of the session, and this talks about money. So time is money in any profession, and in legal, it's most of all. How do you ensure to make the best of your time as a lawyer?
Well, there's no science here. We try to try to evaluate our billing hours by the experience of the lawyer or the partner. But we billing hours not so common in Brazil. It's used more on international case, international issues, because it's a spread practice, but not so in Brazil. So for cases we have a initial fee, and then when the case is closed, we have 20% of the money that clients made. This initial fee is based on the complexity of the case and in our evaluation about how long the cases will take, because here in Brazil the case take a long time to reach a final decision. We have a system that almost any case can reach the Supreme Court. The Brazilian Supreme Court has more than 40,000 cases. So the case takes a long time. So we get this 20% for us to remunerate this time that we work without any money. But I'm doing a hard work with clients to move to billing hours.
Well, I think that's how it should be, and that's how the international practice really works. So I think, yeah, I mean, this is the change that you need to bring. So with that, we come to the end of this session. Alexandre, thank you so much for sharing those great insights with us, and it's a pleasure to have you on the show. And I'm sure a lot of legal professionals around the globe will be able to understand the Brazilian legal system in a much better way through this interview. So we'll connect once again with you in the future and then discuss on some other trending topics in the legal industry. And thank you so much once again for joining us. For our viewers, if you like this chat with Alexandre, and if you have something that you want to share with your partners, your friends, your colleagues, share this video with them, and they should be able to learn a lot. If you have any questions that you want to ask Alexandre, to be specific, put them in the comment section below, and we will try to have Alexandre answer those questions for you. So with that, we come to the end of this session. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Vinay signing off for LexTalk World. Thank you.